And we're live.
How's it going, guys? It's me, Brandon Matula.
And I'm Thomas Six, guys. I'm just feeling it, and so is Brandon. It's the freaking season finale, the official season finale, because on yesterday we did our pop culture, and now we're doing our sports, and so this is it. This is it for season 2. It's been a heck of a season. It's been a lot of fun. We've had a lot of improvements, and we're only going to improve. And I'm pumped. I know Brandon's pumped because it's his day. So, we're not going to waste your time. We're going to get right on into it and just have a great freaking last episode of season 2. And as always, guys, we start this podcast out by saying thank you.
Thank you guys so much just for being such loyal listeners. Thank you to those who support us. You guys rock. We're going to make this thing better and better every episode. And y'all make that possible as listeners of this podcast. So thank you so much. All right. So this finale is not as jam-packed as the pop culture one, but we're going to have a few, 2 good topics and then our usual 5 games of the weekend to watch that Tommy and I are going to predict / tell you if you should hit the lines or not.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do. So starting out, we're going to talk about the Lakers. I mean, they're not looking too great right now.
Mm-hmm.
Should we panic or should we not? That's what we'll be talking about today. And next, we're going to go in an interesting direction. So far this season, well, we kind of saw at the end of last season, the NBA was talking about cracking down on foul calls. And we're really starting to see it this season of them being really hard on those calls, such as James Harden, Trae Young, and those guys. It's very interesting. So we're just going to elaborate on that, if it's good or bad for the league, and just go from there. And then, as usual, our 5 games of the weekend. So we're excited to get into this. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let's get this show on the road. So let's start out with the Lakers. So if y'all don't know, I mean, y'all could easily just go look at your phone right now, but it's all good. I got you.
We'd prefer it from us. So
you'd prefer it from us.
If you don't know,
Lakers,
we're gonna let you know.
The Lakers are not looking so good so far. So opening night, they played the Warriors, and I'm not going to overreact. To me, in my opinion, they didn't look that bad in that game. The Warriors just played better. They won by 7. That's just what happened. Russ kind of had a bad game, but LeBron piece. So that wasn't a bad game in my book. It's just the Warriors play better. And then the Lakers lose by 10 against the Suns. Edge out the Grizzlies, who were on a 2-game win streak. Beat the Spurs. And then they blow a 26-point lead to the Thunder last night on Wednesday. And I know Tommy and I, Tommy is a Lakers, I wouldn't call him hater, but just disliker.
You could say
hater.
Doesn't
like the Lakers too much. But and I'm a Lakers fan because I'm a big LeBron guy. And basically what we're going to get at is are they struggling or are they not? Should they panic or should they not panic? And what's the issue? So let's just start with the first The first question is, should they go? Sorry. So should they go to? Dude,
Brandon's just pulling up the questions, y'all. He wants to make sure this is precise. So don't worry. He's prepared. He just wants to be precise with it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for that. Yes. Should the Lakers be panicking right now, yes or no?
Ooh, okay. You know what? I'm going to go with what I think is the opposite answer that you will give. And I'm doing that. I'm kind of doing this for the show, just to have a good show. But I'm also trying to be different. So it's genuine as well as show business. It's both. It's a bit of both. But I'm going to say yes. I say yes. The Lakers do hit the panic button. Here's why. the Los Angeles Lakers, they're known for their greatness. They're a dynasty. Like, they're known for just being, the biggest, one of the biggest. I think they're the third most expensive sports franchise behind the Manchester United and the New York Yankees. Like, not my math, but my memory may be way off. I just know that I'm pretty sure Manchester United is the most expensive club, which is awesome. It's my favorite soccer team, just FYI, while we're on sports. Go Rooney, Van Persie, 2012 Manchester United, greatest team of all time. But the Lakers, I believe, are third. So whether they're not, they're top 10. They're a top 10 sports franchise of all time. That's a huge deal. That's a really huge deal. So I answered yes. I think they should hit the panic button. Here's why. I'd rather hit the panic button early than not have a button at all and it's too late.
Yeah.
And that's my philosophy. Like, if there is a button there, you might as well just push it, because if you don't push it and it's too late, that button's going to mean zip. So I say I say the Lakers do hit the panic button. I don't necessarily say trade Westbrook or AD or LeBron, but like, what move do you make when you hit the panic button? So that might be a question for Brandon to answer. But yeah, I'm going to go with yes. You hit the panic button.
Interesting. Well, I'm going to go with no. Like, they shouldn't hit the panic button. And this is why. I think the center of the issue is that Russell Westbrook just hasn't found his groove yet as an LA Laker. He just hasn't. We saw him in the first game against the Warriors, only had 8 points, terrible shooting. But at the end of the day, the guy only shot 13 times. And
that's pretty good.
Just to give you reference, Jordan Poole on the Warriors, along with, nobody else. Jordan Poole on the Warriors, like a guy he can score, but he's no all-star caliber like Westbrook, shot more than Westbrook.
Right.
So Westbrook isn't getting his usual shots. So we're probably seeing how he's not very reliable shooting-wise. So I think Westbrook is just the source of the issue. And I just think they need to find a way to include him. There is a way to do it. I know the game is transitioned to a lot of outside the paint shooting, but there's still ways to include Westbrook by attacking the paint and just being very dominant on the inside. And I think that's definitely something Westbrook can bring. And the other thing is, they just need to find more shooters. They need to trade when the deadline comes along, or because when you sign contracts during the off season in the summer, you usually have to wait until December 15th to get traded.
Mm-hmm.
So the Lakers need to wait a while to hit the panic button as far as trading goes. But I think for now, they just need to utilize Russell Westbrook.
Okay.
And just see, because he had a good game the other night against the Spurs. He had 30 plus points. So he was good there. But that's just my thinking there. What do you think?
I like that. I really like how you said they need to utilize Russell Westbrook, because here's what comes to my head. So let's combine both of our answers. Yes, you hit a button, but no, it's not a panic button. Okay, so that's like both of our answers combined. You hit a button, not a panic button. Okay, so what button do you hit? Here's my thought. Let's try it out for 3 games, 3 to 5 games. Russell Westbrook is our main scorer. LeBron, take the back seat. AD, be needed, right? But take the back seat. Rondo, take the back seat. Tucker, I believe he's out. Is Tucker out or is he playing?
Tucker.
Is he hurt?
Taylor Horton Tucker is out right now. Same with Kendrick Nunn.
Okay, so take those players aside. Basically, every important player on the team, take a step back. If you're a role player, that's not a huge start or anything, you can stay where you are. And let's make Russell Westbrook the star for 5 games. No one else is the main ball handler. No one else is the ideal scorer but Russell Westbrook. I say we do that. What do you have to lose? Because you're not playing too well already. And what if it works? What if he goes off for 40 for all 5 games, and you guys go 5-0. So that would be my solution. I think the Lakers should try it. I think that's a great idea, personally. So yeah, I'll say that. I'll say that.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, and that's what's kind of happened. Like because LeBron has been out with a little ankle injury. He just tweaked it a little bit. He'll be back soon. But Westbrook and AD looked pretty good against the Spurs, and then it didn't look good against OKC when when the Lakers blew 26-point lead, which is the biggest lead they've blown, plus 25 ever, I think.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I saw a stat somewhere. That was one of the biggest leads they've ever blown. Losing and ended up losing the game. So,
goodness, you got to be kidding. That's crazy. I mean, but honestly, that's kind of a good stat because they've gone how many years without blowing a lead that big? So I mean, that's a pretty good stat. But still, that's wow. Okay, all right.
Yeah. So so we answered if they should panic or not. So you might need to pull up your stats just real quick just to look at the ESPN app and just see everybody's stats and everything. But what do you think the Lakers need to change, if anything, right now? Just looking at how they've done things so far.
Yeah. I'm going to double down on what I said. And I think they need to, because I'm going to be honest, I think when they picked up Westbrook, or I guess more so traded, they just said, hey, Westbrook, you're going to be our third option behind AD and LeBron. They didn't say that, but they definitely meant pushed for it. And I think now you got to say, Westbrook, listen, LeBron's old. He's still good, but he's old. AD is in potentially his prime, potentially his prime. I don't know. He could be. He could have passed his prime, but Russ, you're going to be our guy for a couple games, and if it works, you're going to be our guy. You're going to be our guy for the rest of the season, for however long you are with the team. So I'm going to double down on what I said. That's what they need to change. Make Westbrook the main guy. What do you have to lose? And that's my time. It's my time in the Lakers.
Yeah. I can concur with that, but I just think they need to utilize Russ better, and they also need to get their guys healthy. They need to get Kendrick Nunn out there. I think he's going to help a lot with this Lakers team. I think we forget how good he really is, and he helped that Miami team in their run to the finals in 2020. So he's definitely a great point guard. He just needs to get playing. He'll be pretty much playing a shooting guard position, so
okay,
that's definitely gonna help them a lot. And then getting THT back, that's definitely gonna help as well. So yeah, the Lakers just really need to be patient. And I mean, by no means is this like the atrocity that they had the year when they got Dwight Howard, Pau Gasol, Kobe Bryant, and Metta World Peace, and Steve Nash. This is not the same level of panic mode, Okay. I really don't think so. LeBron's off the court. Your best player is off the court, and he wasn't playing. So if he was in this OKC game, I think things would have been different. But they got to be able to utilize their big three. I mean, a lot of people may not think that is a big three, but they got to play like they are, if they want to go places.
Sure.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Lakers just got some work to do. We'll be following them very closely as the season goes on because they're just one of the two headliner teams, them and the Nets, which kind of is a good transition into our next topic, which is about James Harden. So we found this very interesting YouTube video by one of our favorite YouTubers, Mike Korzimba. He does great talk shows and podcasts, and best of all, he does these video projects where he just talks about NBA topics, big stories, and just breaks it down really well. It's really interesting stuff. Y'all should go check it out. But the one in particular we're going to be talking about is a video he just came out with about James Harden. And I don't know if y'all saw, we alluded to it at the beginning of the episode. The NBA is cracking down on foul calls. Like, we heard about it at the end of last season, and we were like, yeah, right. Is that really gonna? Are they really gonna crack down on it that much? My goodness. Okay, whatever. Because they've been getting flack about it over the years, so like that's why they're doing it. But they kind of went through with what they said. Like, there was an interesting statistic in the video we were watching of free throws per game. Last year, it was at about 22. Is that right, Tommy? It was about at 22.
Yeah.
And we're only about not even 10 games in to the NBA, but usually these stats kind of stay stagnant, especially when it comes to refereeing. So far, it's at about 19 flat free throws per game. And y'all might go, gosh, okay, well, whatever. It's just a three free throw difference. But that's huge when it comes to averages. This is 30 teams we're talking about, and we're seeing a 3 free throw decrease altogether. So that means the numbers are going down across the board.
Yeah.
Across the board in the NBA. And we've been seeing how it's been affecting certain players. Luka's doing good so far, but he's not getting those big 40-point games as we're used to seeing him do. Trae Young is not getting those calls as much. He skipped 9 free throws per game. Now he's only getting about 5, so half of that. And then the biggest story of all, James Harden, who's won the scoring title a few times, great free throw shooter, great at getting foul calls in general, only is scoring 18 points per game, and he's only shooting 3 free throws per game when he's usually gets about 10 free throws per game. So that, there's all his points right there. He's averaging 18 right now, and if he was like making 80% of his free throws that he would usually get out of 10, he'd have 26 points right now. Yeah. 26 points per game. So he could be having a little funk right here, but the numbers support it. James Harden needs those free throws, and so do other guys. And it really seems the NBA is cracking down really, really hard on this. And let's just jump right into it right now. Tommy, what are your initial thoughts from just the NBA cracking down so hard?
Yeah, so once again, I'm actually really happy because I feel like I might take an opposite stance as you. And this time it's 1,000% genuine. It's not just for show business. It's 1,000% genuine. And tell me if you're on the opposite of me here, but I think it's a dumb rule. And here's why.
Wow.
First, actually, before I even say anything, I just want to say I'm really happy the route you went with this episode, because you kind of found a cool video that's important. Like, it's going to change the NBA, but what you're doing, Brandon, is you're bringing light to an issue that people may not know about. If they click on the NBA, they click on the TV, they're not going to really notice unless if they went out and found the information like this. So on topic, off topic, sort of. I say we keep doing things like this for sports. I think this is really interesting because, we watch a video with the facts, and it's an unbiased video with facts, and we give our biases and we give our opinions. So we should definitely keep doing this. This is really cool. But along those lines, I think it's a dumb rule, and here's why. In the video, and the guy was unbiased, but in the video he says that the highest free throw rate, meaning the highest amount of free throws that were being taken, was in 2004, I think, in the mid 2000s. And so, was that right?
Yes, you're completely right.
Yeah. So, like, if you're not going to change it then why are you changing it now? And I think you're changing it now because you're targeting James Harden and potentially Trae Young, but not really, kinda. Definitely, kind of, but you're targeting James Harden. Here's the thing, guys. I'm from Houston. I was a Harden hater, but then I slowly, to the point where I am at now, began to realize, hey, I'm gonna be honest. Harden, You may not like the way he plays. It could be cheap, but he's just utilizing the game. He's just utilizing the game. You may not like it. It may not be fun to watch. It may not be fun basketball to watch, but like he's just taking advantage of the game, and he's kind of found a little cheat code. I can't really be mad at the man. He's just playing his game. He'll be known in the NBA in NBA history as the player who kind of played his game by drawing fouls. And so that being said, I do think it's. I think I have to respect it. You may not like it. I have to respect it. And I do think it's targeted towards Harden, and I think it's a dumb rule. Why, if you're not going to change it in 2004 when players are at the free throw line every other play, then don't change it now. And that's my stance.
Yeah, interesting. So this is my take on it. I agree that they needed to crack down on it. To the level that they're doing it, I don't think it needs to be like that. And it almost seems that they're just targeting players. And that's what is driving the stats down.
Right.
Because those are the players who are getting those stats of free throws. Those are the ones who get a ton in a game. Because like usually a team will shoot like 20 free throws a game. That's the average. Right now it's about at 19. Hypothetically, Harden usually got like 10. That's half of the team's free throws, So that's what they're doing. They're targeting these big players. It's not even like they're watching it just for in general. They're just watching the players that have become puppet masters with the referees, which is, I kind of like it. I'm not going to lie. I kind of like that the NBA is taking initiative because, I mean, the league is gotten to where it's almost too soft, because like I've heard you tell me sometimes, like watching an NBA game, watching LeBron, like you've complained before about like, oh, that's such bull. He shouldn't have gotten called that. That was such a weak call.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's happening right now. Players are not getting those calls anymore. But the issue, though, in my opinion, is that they're focusing too much on the big names. They just got to keep it fair and take the foot off the pedal just a tiny bit.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a fair stance too. That.
That's also a very fair stance. Both sides are fair. It's hard to say. Yeah, man, you make a good point. I don't know. I think this is definitely something in the video he mentioned this too. This is definitely something that we got to do, but we got to come back in mid-season and see how we're feeling. Maybe I'll say, hey, it's a good rule, and maybe you'll say, hey, it's a dumb rule, and we'll switch. But as of now, yeah, I just got to think it's a dumb targeting rule. I just got to think it.
Yeah. Yeah. There was just a lot of great information in it too, and it like really shedded light to other players that it really affected because it wasn't just James Harden. It was Trae Young. It was Luka. It was all these guys that are just so good at it, and it's just so interesting to see their stats like not be like. I'll just go through a few, and it's just crazy to see happening to the NBA because these stats are just so. Another guy struggling is Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard isn't getting the numbers that he usually gets. And it's just a fun paradox. It's just,
isn't it?
Yeah, it's just very interesting to see how it's like affecting so many players, and it's also helping a lot of players. It's giving more time. It's like giving him more touches, more chances to touch the ball.
Yeah.
Like guys like CJ McCollum, he's averaging 27 right now. Or Harrison Barnes, of all people. We haven't heard that name in a while. 27 points per game. It's just crazy what this is doing early in the season. And I can't wait to see what happens from here with it. It's very, very interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much our topic there. Kind of ran through those pretty quickly, but I mean, hey, that's what we do here at Hot This Week. We love to get quick to the point and be concise about our
Quality over quantity, baby.
Absolutely. But we got a big slot of games coming up this weekend, and we're just going to break them down one by one. And then we're going to go through predictions, and we're going to go through the lines too, because we know some of y'all like to have those. And Tommy, our expert over here, is going to help us out with that. So this is what we're going to do. NBA, I mean, it's back. It's not in full swing yet, but we're not too much into it now. And there's not a lot of great matchups quite yet. So we'll limit it to one NBA game, 2 college football games, and 2 NFL games. And we'll go ahead and start with the college games and just move through. This might be a little biased, but this kind of is synonymous with our audience because I live in Dallas, and a lot of the listeners I advertise to are Dallasonians, people from Dallas, and Houstonians with Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big game going down in H-Town this weekend. Number 19 SMU, 7-0 against 6-1 Houston. And man, like, this is going to be a big game. I'm excited for it. Let's talk about this Mustangs first before we get to our hometown team. The Mustangs are looking great this year. They've put up big wins over TCU, Louisiana Tech, and others, and they've just
They're
taken care of
undefeated,
business.
right?
They're undefeated, and they've just taken care of business. And they're ranked 19 right now, and I mean, you got to respect them. They've just played really well, and it's very. It's Houston is definitely, besides TCU, this is the best opponent SMU's had so far this season.
Mm-hmm.
They're led by Tanner Mordecai, who's got 2,320 yards and 29 touchdowns.
Oh my gosh.
That is number one in the NCAA right now. And keep in mind, they're only 7 games in.
Jeez.
So if you do the math real quick, 29 divided by 7, that's about 4 touchdowns a game. Goodness. Some of which he might get 6 touchdowns in a game, or 1-2 touchdowns in another game, you know. But that's 4 touchdowns a game. So this guy can light it up. He's a transfer from Oklahoma. Definitely a guy that you need to watch this weekend in this game. It's going to be very exciting, and I can't wait to. And then, besides that, they got Tremont Singers in there. He's a powerhouse. Great running back for the Mustangs. 473 yards. I mean, their offense is run and shoot, so that's what they do. They throw the ball, and they love to run it too. So be watching for that. I'm excited for it. But let's look at the other side. Let's look at the Houston Cougars. Houston came into the season after a big loss to Texas Tech in the Texas kickoff. And ever since then, they've really bounced back. They went and beat Rice 44-7. Grambling State 45-0. So easy teams there. And then a win over Navy 28-20.
It was a fun game.
And we've seen Navy kind of give other teams challenges like SMU and Cincinnati, both of which won by 7. So Houston won by just as much as those other teams. So that's interesting right there. They went to Tulsa on the road and beat them 45-10. Big win there. And then they played Tulane away and won 40-22. So the Cougars really started getting things going. And then homecoming game against ECU last week had I think it was a 5-hour rain delay. And I don't know if any of y'all used to play football or are playing football who are listeners. That is very psychologically stressful to have a 5-hour rain delay, because you're set, you're ready to play, and then you have to sit there for 5 hours. You know, It's really hard on your body. And Houston ended up pulling out the victory in overtime, 31-24, to set up this big matchup against SMU. So, guys to watch for the Cougars. I mean, Clayton Tune, he's a pretty good quarterback. He just still needs to cross that threshold as being elite. But Houston's got a true freshman in Alton McCaskill from Conroe, Texas. He's got 463 yards and 9 touchdowns. He leads the nation among freshmen with rushing touchdowns. So good for him there. And then let's go ahead and move on to our next matchup. We'll get to predictions in just a minute. Michigan State. This is a huge game. We were thinking the big game this week was going to be Penn State and Ohio State, but ended up not being the case. Penn State lost at home against Illinois, so kind of took the hype away there. But Michigan State, I mean, it's an in-state rivalry. It's going to be huge. Talk about it on my other podcast with my co-host. This game has potential to be great. Michigan State has really surprised people this year. I mean, they've been a team that can really run the ball, and they have a quarterback in Thorne. He's thrown 15 touchdowns, 1,700 yards. So he's been pretty good. And then on the other side, Michigan, surprisingly, has looked pretty okay. I mean, they're usually a team that drops a loss in there along the way against a team that they're way better than. So this is going to be a big matchup. I mean, it's number 6 against number 8. So this is definitely going to have college football playoff implications. So be watching this game. It'll be on Fox. And the reason why it's important to watch this game in particular, because this game is going to really send shockwaves to the college football playoff ranking committee, because they meet on November 2nd for their first selection show of rankings. They don't do it until after week 9, usually. So that's going to be really cool there. So out of those 2 games, Tommy, like, what are you thinking? Do these games sound pretty exciting?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those 2 games, you guys know I work on Saturday, but if I weren't working, I would be watching those 2 games. Absolutely.
Cool. So let's go ahead and move to the NFL and just a headliner. Like, if y'all didn't see it already, the Packers and Cardinals had a big game together. Packers took down the Cardinals finally, and the Cardinals lost their first game this season. And they only lost by 3. They lost by an interception in the end zone. So great teams. They might meet in the NFC Championship. Who knows? But let's go ahead and dive into these games this week. And there's not too much that looks, I mean, really exciting, but let's go ahead and pick this one. The Buccaneers and the Saints.
Ooh.
And you hear the Saints, you're like, they don't have Drew Brees anymore. I mean, they're not as good, but don't be too fast. I mean, we all know that Drew Brees is one of the GOATs out there, is one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. But Jameis Winston has been having a pretty good year. 13 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards passing, and only 3 interceptions. So he's had an all right year. Just doesn't get to pass a lot. I mean, when you got Alvin Kamara, I mean, why would you pass, you know? And they look pretty good so far for their first year without Drew Brees. And this team is great. Their defense is tough. And, man, like, this team remembers what happened last year against these Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So they're going to be really hot-headed, and they're going to be ready to go. And then on the other side, the Buccaneers are looking great. I mean, they're picking up right where they left off as Super Bowl champs. They're 6-1 right now. They look great. Tom Brady is low-key looking like an MVP candidate. He's got 2,275 yards, 21 touchdowns. That is huge. Like, he is going nuts, and he just passed his 600th passing touchdown. And interesting story there. Mike Evans, the receiver, just threw the ball to the stands after it happened, and Tom Brady was like, "No, bro, I want my 600th touchdown ball. Like, I want to keep it."
That was pretty funny.
So Tom Brady sends a guy to the guy that picked it up and says, "Hey, we'll give you this and that and a Bitcoin if you give us back the ball. And he was like, oh, heck yeah. And that's what he did. So the guy went away richer and happier. So that was fun. But this game should be fun this weekend. Definitely one to watch. And I mean, not a lot of big matchups coming into this week. I know your Ravens are on a bye week. Sad. I'd love to watch them. But another game to watch is between the Cowboys and the Vikings. The Vikings have been trying to get over the 500 mark, and they've proven themselves to be a good team this year, and they want to be great. So the first step in doing that is beating the Cowboys at home, and that is no easy task. Dak Prescott has looked incredible, and in my opinion, the guy's going to win Comeback Player of the Year. I'm going to say it now. Like my goodness. Like, you can't paint a better story than like breaking your leg, your team pretty much losing every game, and then coming out this year 5-1 in your first 6 games. Truly unbelievable. He's going to be fun to watch. Ezekiel Elliott has been playing great too, so definitely watch him. And this one should be fun. It's going to be in Minnesota, so it'll be loud and it'll be high stakes as always in the NFL. And then for NBA, I mean, there's not a whole lot of fun matchups, but I do have a team and a good matchup to watch. The Bulls. The Bulls have started out their season 4-1. They went 4-0 in their first 4 games. They look really good right now. And guess who they played Sunday, Tommy? Or Saturday?
Who?
They play the Jazz.
Woo!
Yeah, 4-0 against 4-1. So these teams, respectively, the 2 best in each conference right now. So that's interesting. So it'll be Donovan Mitchell against Zach LaVine and the Bulls. So that one's going to be huge. So we're going to go through our score predictions and our lines. Let's start with college football. Tommy, Houston comes into this one as it's even.
It is. I saw that.
The line is even. And if you look at the ESPN Power Index, SMU has a 50.1 chance to win, and Houston has a 49.9% chance to win. So the line is even, and the over-under is at 62. What do you do in this one? And just keep in mind, both of these teams are very, very high-scoring offenses. So, I mean, both of these teams scoring over 30 is not crazy. It wouldn't be crazy. So what do you think about the line here? It's 62.
You know, I as far as the line goes, I would sprinkle money if you want to sprinkle money, if you have the extra money and you want to sprinkle it. I'd sprinkle a little bit on SMU. Maybe a handful of dollars, not a handful, but a handful of tens of dollars, not very much. But I'm gonna be honest, guys. You know, Houston's my closest D1 college, the closest D1 college to me. My girlfriend goes here. I've had family go here and plenty of friends. And, you know, if you're a friend of Brandon Matulis, you got to be a U of H fan. So, like, I'm gonna ride my U of H pride right now. I'm gonna go U of H. I'm gonna go U of H this game. I'm gonna go. You know, they got the home field advantage. I'm actually potentially gonna be at this game. Depends on how it goes with work and everything. But I've got U of H. Money wise, if you want to lay a bet, you know, take SMU because it's the safe bet. I understand, but U of H is only 6-1. You know, they've only lost 1 game. I've got U of H by a field goal. It's going to be close. It's going to be tight, but it's going to be a lit win. And I'm going to take U of H 31-28.
Nice. And I got the Cougars too. And here's why. So, okay, with that score prediction, Tommy, you're taking the under with the over-under?
Yeah, I'd probably take the under.
Under? Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be the toughest game for SMU, and here's why.
I
I
agree.
mean, playing at TCU is pretty tough. I mean, there's more fans there, and it's a little bit louder than U of H. But that was not a night game. That was a day game. And there's a difference in night games and day games in college football, let me tell you. And this is going to be a night game starting at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Fans are going to be wearing all black. The Cougs will be wearing all black. And it's going to be a crazy game. And I think the Cougars win this one by 10. I think they come in surging, and then I think SMU will slowly come back, but then Houston will pull it out. And I've got the Cougs 35-24.
Ooh, big margin.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Let's go ahead and go to this Michigan State game. The power index shows that the Michigan is expected to win. They're 56% favored in this game, and the line is in favor of Michigan by 4. And the over-under is 50.5. So, Tommy, what you're thinking here?
Oh man,
Michigan is on the road. Keep them on.
Yeah. This is if you're a sports fan, you guys, which I'm an above average sports fan. I'm not a sports, I'm not as strong as Brandon, but I'm an above average sports fan. Even the most average sports fans, you're looking at this game. This is the game. You've got a state team, from both states, Michigan State, the biggest rivalry, one of the biggest rivalries in college football. And not only that, but they're both 7-0. And I think that's the biggest part because Michigan State could be 1-6, so could Michigan, but they're 7-0. So all that blabbing aside, man, the line says to take Michigan. I'm gonna have some fun this weekend, and I'm gonna go with the plus line on Michigan State. I've seen Michigan State pull off some big dubs in my time. So I'm gonna go Michigan State with their money line. It's plus 16. So I'd sprinkle 10 to win $16. If you lose money, you lose $10. If you win, you win $16. So why not? And then the over under is 50. Honestly, guys, I'm gonna smash that over. I'd probably put $100 on that over just because each team only has to score 25. I mean, it's 50.5, but each team only has to score 25 points. Then one team has to score 26, and then you win your money. I think that's a pretty safe bet. Because that being said, I'm taking Michigan State for fun. Let's go, Michigan State. Let's go Spartans. Why not? I'm taking Michigan State, and I'm taking them by 5. I'm ready to go 30-35.
30-35. All right. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, I'm just for this game, and the Big Ten has been a powerhouse this year, and sadly they're going to lose undefeated team this week regardless.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Michigan State going into this. It's going to be a big game. College football, college game day is there along with Big Noon, which is Fox's college game day. So it's a huge game, and I'm excited for it. And I've got Michigan State in this one, and I think they win this one 21-17.
All right.
Cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and head to the NFL just real quickly. We got a big matchup between. Let's pull it up here. Sorry, y'all. And while I pull this up, there's going to be polls this week on our Instagram page, so be sure to predict your teams. We'll go over them next show, most likely, or we'll do that from now on. But let's go ahead and get with this. The Buccaneers and the Saints. Sunday on Fox. Tampa Bay is a 4.5-point favorite. They're 64% favored on the power index, and the over-under is 49.5. Tommy, who do you have in this one?
Not a Bucks fan by any means. I think minus 220 is kind of ridiculous, though. So just for that reason alone, I'm staying away from both money lines. If I had to hit one, I would probably hit the Saints one over the Bucks one. Even if the Bucks blow them out, that's still way too high of a line for me. However, the spread for the Bucks minus 4.5, so the Bucks by a touchdown. That's not bad. If you wanted to sprinkle a little bit, sprinkle a little bit. The over-under is 49, which it means both teams have to score 25. I would probably stay away from that. But who do I have? Not a Bucks fan. Really don't like Bucks. Don't like Tom Brady. So I'm gonna go with the Saints just for that fact. Plus, I think the Saints they have something up their sleeve because every team in the NFL, when they watch film, they focus on the Buccaneers because they know that that's the team to beat. In the same way that if you're an NBA team, you watch the Warriors because you know Steph Curry. If you can beat him, you can beat the team. So, if you can figure out the Bucks, you're gonna beat the Bucks. So, I think the Saints have an excellent film watching crew from what I've seen in interviews and documentaries. So I'm gonna go Saints, and I'm gonna go by a touchdown that they received from an interception in the fourth quarter. Saints 28, Bucks 21. Low scoring game, kinda.
Wow.
Kinda.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go with the Bucks in this one. I just roll right now, and they're gonna face better teams ahead of them, and I expect them to lose later on in the season. I mean, the best teams do; it happens. But I mean, the Bucks need to win their division this year, and they need to win it convincingly. So they're gonna take these division games very seriously. So I got the Bucks in this one, 35-24. Same score as the Houston SMU game. I just think Tom Brady is going to come in on a mission, and he's going to come in ready to go with all his Buccaneers. Last NFL game, Cowboys versus the Vikings. Minnesota is favored in this game by 2.5. Tommy, who do you got?
Oh man, I've been thinking about who I'm gonna go with because I know you're gonna get to me. I got a lot of family that are, I got a lot of family that's Cowboys fans. So let's go Cowboys. We're having fun. It's a good year to be a Cowboys fan. And I love Dak Prescott. I'm going Cowboys, but I'm going to be humble here. I'm going to go Cowboys by a touchdown and a field goal. So Cowboys by 10. Let's go Cowboys 31. Vikings 21.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm with it. I'm going to go with the Cowboys. I think they've been great this year, and I honestly like to see them succeed. A lot of people say they don't like to see them succeed. I do. I'm going to go with the Cowboys in this one. Very close, though. I have them winning by a field goal, 27-24.
All right.
And last game, NBA game. It's
nice.
The Jazz at 4-0 against the Bulls. Two hot teams right now. Tommy, who do you got? This game will be played in Chicago.
I really, really, really got family in Utah. Yeah, I used to live there. For those of you who don't know, I got to go Utah. I think they're just way too mature. Now, this Bulls team is good, but they're not as mature as the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz, they have a little bit of an upper edge as far as chemistry goes. So I'm gonna go Utah Jazz, and I'm gonna go Utah Jazz by 12. So nothing crazy in the NBA, and I'm gonna go Utah Jazz. Let's make it even, 112 to 100.
112 to 100. Okay. Interesting. I'm gonna go with Utah here, and I'll tell you why. Chicago has been hot, but I think this is when they start cooling down. Yeah. I kind of like that they've been hot, though. I think they'll stick around. I think they'll make the playoffs this year. But I got the Jazz in this one, and I expect them to go 5-0. Good for them. I got them winning 115 to 107. With Donovan Mitchell scoring over 25 points. And y'all, that is it for season 2.
Woo!
We're going to give y'all details about season 3 very soon. We'll probably send an announcement video on our Instagram page just to walk y'all through maybe some stuff that we're doing with that. Mm-hmm. Who knows? But I'm excited to see what our future is, and I'm very thankful for how far we've come, and we couldn't have done that without y'all. So thank you guys so much. Tommy, anything you want to say to close out season 2?
Yeah. I guess kind of a trailer for season 3 as far as movie reviews go. October we've talked about big releases, but November's kind of slept on. November we've got Eternals, which is going to be interesting because the reviews are not very good, but I think I see that as a dub. I see that because they switched things up in the Marvelverse and they went with something different, which is what we need from Marvel, which is why I'm such a Marvel hater because every movie's the same in my humble opinion, but I think Eternals is going to switch it up. Um, we've got Eternals. We've got Licorice Pizza, Ghostbusters, Spencer, King Richard, Come On, Come On, the new A24 movie. So, November's got some sleepers. So there'll be a lot of good reviews in there, and hopefully they can get a lot of those early, or some early screens. But if not, they're going to be up by Thursday. Don't you worry. But guys, I mean, it's been an honor. Season 2 has been lit. It's been drastically better than season 1, in my opinion. Not that season 1 was bad, but we just only continue to improve. And even from episode 1 of season 2 till now, episode 12, like we've just done nothing but improve. So, yeah, we're gonna have a long talk about what we want for season 3. But until then, you guys, keep it real, be safe out there. And my name is Thomas Hicks.
And I'm Brandon Matula.
And we will see you guys in a couple weeks or in a week or something like that. We'll see. I guess we'll figure it out.
Bye.
And we're off.
Don't take me to time.